friends with us. Neerja Chowdhury is there. So, Neerja, my question is how in your initial days, like you started your journalism from 1976 from Bombay. So, how during those days you met do and don'ts. So, how you managed yourself to be in the field as a women journalist, that too in the political field, which is so competitive and less in number for the females that point of time.
I cut my teeth in journalism by working on a news weekly called Himmat. It was edited by Rajmohan Gandhi. And this was during the emergency. Himmat was fighting the censorship imposed by Indira Gandhi during that time. So that was a very fascinating period because you were not allowed to publish everything. And we had to finally run from one press to another, put out an appeal to our readers to give us money to buy a press of our own. And it was very exciting, this graph on the wall of the office, how it climbed. And people even sent 1 rupee money orders to assist Himmat. We finally had over 60,000 rupees and we bought a press. And we published Himmat on it. And then, of course, Indira Gandhi declared elections and the emergency came to an end. And Janata Party government was formed. So that was when I started my journalism. Then I came to Delhi because my parents were not keeping good health and I joined the Statesman. And that too was a very exciting 5-year term. From 1982 onwards, I was the first and the only civil rights correspondent in the country.
That's interesting.
And this gave me an insight into India that I did not know existed. So I was able to travel through the countryside, rural areas. I wrote about child labor, about bonded labor, about under trials languishing in the jails of India for 30 years, 33 years, 38 years without a trial commencing or even after they had been, served their term. And I remember this case in Muzaffarnagar of a person called Rudal Shah, and I read a little clipping in a Hindi paper. And I went to Mr. Sahai, who was the editor, and I said, this is very interesting, 33 years, this man is in prison. So he said, go. There was a lot of freedom at that time to pursue your ideas. So I went and I tracked him and in jail, and then of course he was released as a result of what the papers had written. And then he was released and then he went to his village and I tracked him to his village. And I remember it was monsoon time, the nalas were in spate and we finally reached his village at about 8:30 at night. And I found this forlorn looking man in this hut with the timtamata lalten hota hai na, not knowing what to do. And then as a result of the write-ups, a case was filed. Public interest litigation had just started in the country. Chief Justice P.N. Bhagwati was there and he encouraged it. And as a result of it, Mr. Chandrachud, who was the father of the recent Chief Justice of India, he gave a landmark judgment ordering compensation to be paid to Rudal Shah.
That's really
After that,
interesting
the
and relief
family
also.
just came for him. Each one was eyeing. It was, I remember, 30,000 rupees. But the principle of compensation was established. So all this was very exciting for me. Bonded labor. I myself filed a PIL after writing about the labor that came from Madhya Pradesh to Haryana, and I chased them and then tracked them back once they were released, to track them back in their villages and found they had again gone into bondage and came and saw the Chief Minister Arjun Singh in Bhopal and so on.
How you used to chase? Tell me one thing, because things were very difficult at the traveling, planning, staying there. How?
इतना difficult नहीं था माधवी, because you had the right to have a vehicle.
Okay.
And remember, I found in certain cases when you'd written about something and you wanted to get the official side, I remember walking into the DM's house.
Really?
And because I was a woman, it was an advantage. He couldn't throw me out.
That
So
is interesting.
whatever he said at that time, no comment, or we'll see what happens, vague kind of statements, I could at least get the official side down. For
Cool.
me, it was very important to get all sides of the story. But that apart. Also, I remember, child labor. I remember raat ke time Chandni Chowk mein.
Mm-hmm.
I was tracking these children who work or on these rubbish dumps.
My
You know
goodness.
how they would sift, छोटे बच्चे, they would sift what would be useful for them
Mm-hmm.
and could be reused from the rubbish. उनके
ओहो।
छोटे हाथों से. Which, I mean, this took me to in India. I had no, as a middle class person, I had no idea about. And you know what has been a very exciting journey for me
Mm-hmm.
as a journalist is to discover India. And अभी भी मैं elections में जाती हूँ ना. I've just been to Bengal. It is very exciting to discover. As I keep saying, every few kilometers the country is different, and Bengal is so diverse. In that, I was telling somebody, in that little constituency of Bhawanipur, where Mamata Banerjee is now standing and fighting, opposed by the BJP's
Subhendu Adhikari, the mighty.
It's a tough battle. It's such a fascinating constituency. It has the
Gujaratis.
Subhash Chandra Bose's house. So I went to see it. I mean, it's amazing. The bust outside, and it has Jyoti Basu's house before he became chief minister. Now, of course, it's been redone. It has Siddharth Shankar's house. बड़ा सा घर है, red facade, and you get an idea. You know, the last chief minister, Congress chief minister of West Bengal, Sama Prasad Mukherjee, who founded the
BJP.
Bharatiya
No,
Janata
yes.
Sangh, before it became the earlier avatar of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Uttam Kumar, some other film star, and then Kali Ghat ka mandir.
Mm-hmm. Have you been there?
I went there. That is an amazing experience. The darshan of Ma Kali, and and Mamata Banerjee's own house on this
Okay.
Harish Chatterjee Street.
You've been
Just
there
a
also.
2-room.
Yes.
Very guarded. The road was very guarded. I managed to get there because my driver argued with the security forces. Yeah, she's come from Delhi and she's from Indian Express. और वो चल बूढ़ी है तो चल नहीं पाएंगी.
That's
And they let me
smart
in,
guy.
the car in. So it was wonderful. So I was able to see the house and where she lives, and such a small place, and the place she has carved out for herself in West Bengal's politics, the pro-poor politics, women-oriented politics, and so on. So, as I say, every time you hit the road, you discover some wonderful aspect of India's rich diversity. No other country in the world is as diverse. And for me as a journalist, that has been the marvelous part of being a journalist.
So, Neerja, my question is again that ki people, you have maintained your calmness, balance, and what I will say, credibility in the field. What I will say, it's very difficult nowadays for a political journalist to be not called belongs to this party or that party. How you maintain that one?
I feel that's the job of the journalist to be fair. To
It's almost
reflect
50 years
also,
you are into the
and to
profession.
get to the facts and present those facts and let the reader or the viewer make up their minds. I've also been very lucky in my editors.
Mm-hmm.
We did not have the kind of pressures that the present generation is subjected to.
Okay. Like what your editors tell you?
My first editor at the Statesman, S. Sahai, and I've had wonderful editors down the line. HK S. Sahai, once he got a call, I'd written about brick quarries and kilns. And there was a call from somebody connected politically. And he told the person, please give this information to my reporter. And then he said to me, your facts should be correct. The rest you don't have to worry about. I am there.
Neerja, you have seen the different kind of editor in the last 5 decades. So tell me, what are the difference you find now and then?
Look, now also I'm with the Indian Express. and you have editor like Raj Kamal Jha. Amazing. The kind of leadership he has nurtured in the Indian Express, including women. The freedom, the creativity, giving expression to the ideas you get. So, as I say, even till today, I have been very H.K. Dua. When I used to read his political dispatches, I said, I really want to write like that.
That's great.
Shekhar Gupta, reporter's editor, he immediately thought something has happened. Okay, it's linked to that village or that ground. That's where we send the reporter. Get the story from there. I have been very lucky, as I say.
A little tricky question. So, have you ever got a little, threat call or
Arun Shourie,
intimating?
for instance. Arun Shourie was also my editor. And I brought a story about R.K. Hegde. I went to Kulwant Singh. There was a commission that had got information against Hegde. The report had not been made public. I came and listed it. It was going to be controversial given Hegde's standing. But the story was not unlisted. The story was continued. I said, you decide. First, my bureau chief said, let's wait a day to see if it's correct. I said, that's fine, you can wait a day. I'm going to list it tomorrow, somebody else will get it. And they did not unlist it. They carried that report. They also carried Hegde's resignation, who got to hear of it and tendered his resignation the same night.
That's interesting.
So that, I would say, yes, maybe you can say it was a different era. And we were lucky.
No, my question is again, have you ever got some threat call or something? Someone tried to intimate you, you did this story and like next time don't dare to. Something like this ever happened to you?
No, sorry, I don't understand.
No, it means like to bully you. Have you ever got any bully call? Like
Politicians?
Yeah, I mean anyone.
Yes, politicians can say it. Like one politician during VP Singh's time, when the VP, the period from 87 to when he came to power in 89, when he was on the rise, he took on Rajiv Gandhi and finally managed to replace him in 89. And he brought the different parties together to form the Janata Party. Now, during this period, was politically so active, I rarely got home before 1 or 2 at night, driving my Maruti 800 and hoping it would not get a puncture on the way. But I had a very understanding husband, I had a young child, and politicians, which I remember one politician, he'd written a letter to VP Singh, a very, showed the divisions within the ranks. It was a sensational kind of letter. And he told me, you get it from somebody else. And I did. Because I had sources, the letter went to 10 people and I knew all of them.
So
I learned early on, do not put your eggs in one basket as far as sources are concerned. Every source will give you, however reliable and trustworthy they are, they have to be trustworthy, will give you information selectively. And therefore you've got to not only corroborate that, you've got to flesh it out. So and I think what was emphasized in our time, at that time, was leg work. There is simply no shortcut to leg work. You've got to keep meeting people again and again and again and go and see them to get information.
So I want to ask one thing. While meeting people, it's the judgment you exercise yourself, or some tips is given by the editors or some colleagues. How you used to.
Sometimes ideas, of course, are given. At the morning meeting, thing to follow. A tip of the editor may have got. A tip of you may have. You may read something and say, this is a story to pursue, and it may lead to something. Events you were called to, where you picked up something, met somebody, it could be. I found, I couldn't go to, these parties. Sometimes you get invited to in the evening because I had a young child. So I had women politicians and women bureaucrats
Mm-hmm.
as very good sources.
Cool. That's interesting. That time, are they large in number or like
Now,
they
they were not
were?
large in numbers, but some of them were very reliable.
Okay. Okay. Neerja, there's one more thing we have discussed before recording this thing. You know, dressing. You used to say कि you used to dress in a particular way. So, conservative approach, if I'm correct. I should spell that way. Nowadays, there's a modern era. Girls are, different way of presenting themselves. So, you still maintain. You never face.
I think it's
Accepted the challenge.
Madhvi, it's a matter of what you're comfortable with. You know,
Okay.
I have, like, even in school, I shifted from tunic to salwar kameez in my senior years. Not a choice. I was more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can call it conservative. Yes, and then when I was in Bombay with Himmat, Bombay is very hot.
Mm-hmm.
And with saris, one would wear sleeveless blouses, and nobody thought anything about it. It's convenient, comfortable. When I came to Delhi and I started to be in Parliament, cover Parliament, I had a senior MP once, who I got to know very well and was a good source of mine. He took me aside and he said, Benji, aap sleeveless mat pehna karo. And it made me really think. I thought, I am here now. I could have reacted and said, who are you to tell me I have a right as a woman to dress the way I want to?
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought, I am a professional first.
Mm-hmm.
If the subject of my or the subject of what I'm going to write, or my source, who I am talking to, feels a sense of discomfort, then that is not what I want. I'm a professional first and a woman after that. So I have not worn sleeveless after that. And I'm very happy. How does it matter?
Yes, as
Also, I
long as.
find that when I go to a village, if I'm dressed in a sari or a salwar kameez, then the women are more, they identify with me more.
They feel comfortable
At the
to
end
talk
of the
to
day,
you.
it really doesn't matter also. You can today, so many village girls are in their jeans.
Yes,
They
yes.
are
It's a
so
complete
well-groomed.
change. India changed. Village totally changed.
Amazing, yeah.
Even when I travel
Even
inside.
Bengal, I saw the young women are in tops and they're
Yes.
so well groomed, so
Even North
conscious
Indian
of
girls,
themselves.
that is a conservative build. When I go.
Conservative girls
Conservative families now the
Tribal
women
girls.
Yes, yes,
who
yes.
spend a lot on their grooming. And why not?
India
It's a
has
sense
changed.
of self. I see nothing wrong with that at all. I think it's a good thing happening. But it's what you're comfortable with. And I am comfortable with the Indian dress, so I stick to it.
Anything, Neerja, you would like to add, because I have taken a lot of time of yours. Anything you want to add on to this interview?
It's been good to be a media person
Really?
and to have had the chance to do it.
Yes, what it serves. I consider them as a social auditor. We are the social auditor, and how you perceive the thing.
What did you say?
Social auditor.
Auditor.
Yes, my background is of CA, so I
Use that
consider word
terminology.
social auditor. I feel initially I used to feel we are the social auditor. We see what are the social changes. Even politics is a part of society. So social auditor, I will say. I don't know what term you tell to yourself.
I don't want to give it terms. Yes, when we started off, I went into journalism thinking we'll make a social change. We will contribute to social change in India. And then I feel, yes, we hold up as I say, the aina, the mirror, to society, to power, to people in politics, the institutions, those who run the country. And therefore, I hope we are making a contribution by creating public opinion, then that asserts in a democracy. But we have many fault lines. Our democracy has many fault lines. And still, I feel proud that we hang out there as a democracy. And if we can have, as a media person, if we can have even a little bit of a role, I'm very happy.
My last question: what you receive so many awards? What these awards means to you?
It feels good, Madhavi.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, recognition of your hard work or whatever effort you put in, yes, it has a good feeling. A reporter asked me after one of my awards, she said, "Ma'am, do you feel happy?
Mm-hmm.
Or what do you feel?"
Hmm.
And I thought to myself afterwards, and I thought, yes, I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
But if my son does something well, I feel happy.
Oh,
I feel happier. That is real happiness.
mother. The mother overtook
I,
the
I
journalist.
at, yes, of course, I appreciate the awards.
Thank you, Neerja, for such a candid talk. Thank you for giving me your time.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Madhvi.
Thank you.